are trying to bring someone into your life that you don't know, I want you to go to that movie Monster in Law with Jennifer Lopez. I know she is not the person that a lot of people like right now, but the movie at the very beginning, when she sees the guy and they just meet, I think it might be at a coffee shop first. No, first they meet at a dinner where she's catering. And then the next time it's a coffee shop, and then the next time it's at the beach. And that energy is right there. And I'm pretty certain that they wrote that part of the movie for it to be like serendipity, law of assumption, a lot of different things. Pretty good, right? It's the same process when you are trying to bring a specific person to you. Now, there are a lot of magical things you can do which don't involve robotic affirming. There's a lot. That's why there's so many of us out here who are spiritualists that know how to kind of work with that energy and bring stuff to a person. We don't have to bring it. We're not bringing it to ourselves. We're hired to bring it to the person. In either case, once the person comes in, you still have to realize what you think about the situation is what you're going to actually live. That's the law of assumption. What you believe about the situation or assume about the situation, I'm going to use those interchangeably, is what you're going to experience. So you meet this person, you don't know him, you didn't really meet him, you bumped into him, you had a cute little chat and kept going. And then you can't get her or him out of your mind. It means something. We are all collectives. Our energies touch each other and touch and touch and touch until there is no process that makes it so that you cannot bump into a person again. Nothing. I mean literally nothing. I've experimented with this in the city that I've lived in for years, but I didn't know it was the law of assumption. You see what I'm saying? I had no idea about that. I'm back because I don't ever have this phone ringing, right? When I'm doing nothing. But as soon as I get on live, here they come calling me. Everybody. They're going to stop the day. My belief is, everything is me pushed out. Okay. They're going to call me when I'm free. I'm not free right now. Okay. So, I am saying to you that it's not as desperate as you think it is. It's a lot more easier and gentle, especially when you add gratitude into the process. It's not like I'm beating this down, I'm writing this and it's going to bring me what I want. It's more like, especially when you add gratitude to the situation, you are bringing in a softer vibe to the process that allows the people, the thing, whatever, to find you. So I would suggest that when you're doing robotic affirming, you put your affirmation out there and then do things like positive aspects or gratitude, rampages of gratitude. But don't do it from the standpoint of nothing's going to change about my life if I don't do this. Don't do it from that standpoint. Do it from the standpoint of gratitude is one of your tools. It is literally one of your tools that allows you to live a better life. Be grateful. Be grateful for what is in front of you, for what it is that you've experienced and that you would like to experience again. It is my hypothesis that we are waves of energy all the time. We are. The universe lives inside of us. We are not something that is just living in the universe. It's inside of us. That is the whole idea of us being stardust, the whole idea of us having astrological charts, etc., etc. We are literally the universe walking around on this planet. So it's important that you recognize you have the ability to affect so much change on a regular basis. You're not stuck. Nothing about us is stuck. We tend to feel that we are so separated from things. Like, I think a lot of people look at like the astrological process, or the planets process, astronomy's process. Everything is up looking down on us, or up, and we're just existing within it. And that is part of the case, but we exist within it, and it exists within us, which means we can affect so much change. We are pulling on the processes of, I would say, Jupiter and Venus when we're working with gratitude, right? We're pulling on that type of energy. We're pulling on a lot of good things that make it so that we can make our lives be what we want our lives to be. And it is via gratitude. Gratitude along with robotic affirmation, and assuming the good thing and believing in yourself. Sometimes you don't know that you're believing in yourself, because I could tell you back then I had no idea. I remember writing this. I remember all the gratitude. He and I just had a big argument. I just kicked him out of my apartment, and voila, we were separated for a minute, and I was kind of figuring everything was done. He popped back up in about a month, and then we dealt with each other, I would say, another 8 to 9 months from then on, and then eventually it completely ended, because I was just done with I didn't push out everything, or everything that I pushed out was not very positive coming from within myself. So it exposed itself in the situationship between he and I. I wanted another experience. That potential was done. We're going to get into some Dr. Joe here. We're talking Dr. Joe Dispenza. And again, if you would like to work with me, I'm going to have something in the description box. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We are trying to grow to 1,000 followers. But let me get back to this. I picked another potential. I decided there's something else. I had another existence that I was supposed to be living. And I think a lot of the time people think, oh, it's another potentiality. It's the 5D. It's no. You have decided that your life needs to be different than what you're looking at right now. And it is different. And yes, there is another part of you that's going, it's much better. Girl, get much better than this. They're saying to me, like, girl, it gets much better than this. Move on from this. That was me pushed out. I no longer wanted to work within the confines or within the gratitude of that situation, because I only had but so long of a vision of what that gratitude was going to do for he and I. And it didn't go that far. It did not go that far at all. Life gets better. Right? And the connection between he and I was so strong, but it had to end. It was done. That potential, tuning into a different potential, was coming through, and it was like, girl, something is better out there than this. And I was in my 30s at the time. And that was true. It was definitely true. It took time, but I didn't want to experience that potential to its fullest extent. No, I didn't. When I let it go, it was gone. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of my existence. Out of my experience. Another part about abundance, about financial abundance, spiritual abundance, emotional abundance, mental abundance, and robotic affirming and the law of assumption, is that You're doing this all the time, all the time. I have a video on here that talks about the negative, nasty, toxic affirming that we do, and we do it all day, every day. You know, especially if it comes to work. And a lot of people feel like, oh, I get ahead of it, I'm really good. But sometimes there is a situation where you are working with said manager, said boss, whatever you want to call them, and you are not feeling their style, the way that they talk to you, the way that they reach out to you, how often they call you, all of that. And you have decided that you want something different for yourself than what they are giving you. It is at that time that you begin to assume that there's another idea out there for yourself. Got salt up here too. That will make it so that you can go and find another job, build a career for yourself, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm saying add gratitude to your process, because the attitude of gratitude brings you it softens the whole process of almost drumming into yourself via journaling, via robotic affirming, as far as chanting in your head or aloud. It depends on the people. Everybody has a different way that they do this. It brings a softness to it, and it brings an ease to it that makes it so that you can have and experience anything you want to experience. I know a lot of people are really concerned about love and money, and I think it's always in that order. A lot of the times I tend to draw people to me that are dealing with money, because that's my area of expertise. But I mean, love is almost in the same quadrant. It's pretty much in the same area. So if you can do one, you can do the other. It's important to know that for yourself, you are much more powerful than you realize. Let's talk about being a person who has so many different things that they want to achieve, and they can only work on one at a time, or it just becomes too overwhelming, so they choose not to do anything. I would recommend you take one thing that's important to you, as far as a big goal, and then I would say 5 other things that are small goals, and begin to kind of work on the big thing, and then also work on the small things. The small things, in my opinion, they give and I won't even say in my opinion, this was given to me recently, so this is not necessarily a download, but it was a conversation that was had, and it was with spirit, and the process was look for smaller things, work on smaller things, and via that process we bring in on a wave the bigger things that you're looking for. Because you trust that you can manifest a coffee, you trust that you can manifest a discount on an oil change or a free oil change. You trust that you can get parking spaces. You trust that you will go out to dinner with your friends that week. But there may be something bigger coming in on those situations. You may meet someone at a coffee shop, meet someone at the car place. You may meet someone while you're out to dinner with your friends that's bringing in the bigger goal or helping you get closer to it. You need more than one thing to focus on, but the other things don't need to be as big of a goal as the big goal that you're working on initially. And then begin to see it, begin to trust that you have an ability to be able to bring things to you. Something as simple as somebody picking up the phone on FaceTime every single time you call them, because this person is known for never answering. And it could be a family member. But every single time, now you're going to decide every single time you call them, they answer their phone. You see it go from FaceTime to connecting. And you see it every single time, and every single time they connect and answer, and you're talking to them. These things help to build your manifestation muscles while you're bringing in the big thing. You also want to really actually, don't manifest, and everybody's always saying this, don't manifest on the how. One of the biggest things, if you are manifesting on the how with money to achieve things, it makes your life harder because you're in the how area and it ain't none of your business. But let's back up. And that's from everywhere. That you're not concerned with the how. Because with the law of assumption, especially specifically from Neville Goddard's position, the bigger energy that walks with you, that is God, that energy that you are working with to bring forward your life, is working on that. But let's say you physically just want to manifest cash. You're not saying, I want to manifest cash so I can do this, so I can get all these things, when really that inner energy in you will be going, well, why aren't you just asking me for the things that you want? We can work on it. You don't have to work on it, because that's you trying to get into the how. Right? But let's just say, okay, I just want to manifest the money. I just want to see it. Whatever you do with it, you're going to do with it. And do something fun with it for yourself. I think that's a big part of this process. You can't just be manifesting money for utility, because I don't think that's how this works. We're supposed to have fun while we're down here. I wanted to come here to talk more so about other things, but this law of assumption, it's got me in its grips. And I'm having fun with it. It's a lot of fun to see things just arrive and to understand, oh, that did come. And sometimes I'm a part of the process, sometimes I'm not, and it's right there. The process is to believe in yourself and recognize it's okay no matter which way it comes in. You don't have to go beat nobody up to get it, but you got to make a phone call to follow up. Hey, what's wrong with the phone call? Don't become such a purist that you're like, I don't have to make a phone call. Okay, don't make the phone call. Do it with whatever way you want to, with whatever resources you have or don't have. The point is, find a way to add gratitude in there, because once you add that gratitude in there, you soften the process. And it becomes a lot easier to manifest what you're looking for. Okay? I think that Abraham used to aggravate everybody with going, like, it doesn't matter. You're not worried about if you get the thing or not. And we're going, Abraham, ain't nobody paid to come sit in this audience for you to say that. No. Nobody is sitting here looking at you on YouTube multiple times for you to say that. And then every now and again, Abraham's going to bring forward this process of how to actually do the thing. Like when a person realizes that a relationship is over, and Abraham's going, well, is the relationship over? It's not really over. You just need to think different, and then it's going to be a different type of thing. And you're going, no, the relationship is done. Like, this is done. I don't want to think different about this person no more. And I think that's the part of that energy's process that was making it so hard for everybody to understand the law of attraction from their point of view. Because they're ultimately saying that if you have a specific person that you're working with, and this was in regards to relationships a lot of the times with Abraham, when it came to jobs, a boss that you were working with, a person you were in a relationship with, a parent with a child, oh, you don't really want that. It doesn't really matter if you get that. It does matter. And the law of assumption takes you to a different realm in that same place going, nah, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? And I can get what I actually want. I can actually, what is it? Abraham used to say, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. Okay, so why can't I put the thought in there of what I actually want? Why are you standing here telling me that's not what I want? And then once I actually get it, everything's going to unlock. It was a bunch of confusion there. And sometimes I would just be like, of recent, just be like, I am not watching no more Abraham content because they're getting very confusing. And then it's like they started to release more and tell people more information on how to actually get things in their lives. Once more teachers started to come and hit this planet, much more consciousness started to come and talk to people and tell them more of what's going on. Because it was always my question for Abraham, why are you here now? Why didn't you come earlier? Right? Why come here and tell us stuff and keep people in complete confusion? A lot of people go, oh no, no. We gonna use the positive aspects only to get what's sitting right in front of us? When in truth, you're using positive aspects to positively get a positive result from something that's sitting in front of you. That's a change. And it was something that we were not grasping it. Because the simple process is you can literally have anything that you want. You just need to be focused on it and letting it completely cover your life. Completely cover your life. When I look at this book, I just remember writing very just wanting to write out the things that made sense to me, wanting to get to the point, wanting to understand what I'm grateful for. Eventually now, I mean, it's been 20 plus years I've been doing this, so I understand that gratitude, once your energy is flowing with gratitude, you're going to receive some good stuff in your life. And that's why it's important to use gratitude in your life. Dr. Joe Dispenza would say gratitude puts you in a state of receivership. I say, okay, that's a nice way of saying it, but gratitude just chills you out and things come floating right on in. That's just how that works. It lifts your vibration and you're more open to the idea that it can come from anywhere and it's not your concern on how it's going to get there because you busy being grateful for things. And Abraham would go, exactly, you're being grateful. It doesn't matter. Oh, no. But I'm being grateful for the new potential of a new relationship. I'm not being grateful for this relationship that's right in front of me because it's very clear that whatever I got inside is locked. It's crystallized. I think about this person the way I think, and therefore they're showing up the way they're showing up. And I'm grateful that there's a new potential. I'm grateful that there's a new way to do this. Because, honey, what? They tell you that a thought is just a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. Well, once things get a little hanky, not so good, and people are saying things to you and all that kind of stuff, you are in no way going, I think that way about myself, and so this person is spewing back vitriol to me about me, and so I can just change that, and you're going to forget that they said that to you? Because we are all living in our own reality at all times. They didn't have no control over nothing they said out of their mouth. They're living their reality too. That's what you have to remember. Life is its reality on itself. As a lot of people would say, God is down here playing with itself, having many different experiences with itself. And so maybe that experience is having with itself with this part of itself is done. And I'm moving forward to the next potentiality. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. A new one. Think about it like that. Begin to really look at this and go, oh. Wipe your slate clean. Sometimes you don't want to continue to work with stuff that is, as Abraham would say, is chewed gum. You already manifested this. Okay, what's next? You see? At some point, it became a confusing process, and understanding how they were getting their information out. And then other energy started to come in and talk. Down Anchor came in. Power is the ability to be able to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's different than what became, in my opinion, the confusion of the law of attraction from the standpoint of Abraham at times. There were times it was on point because I was so heavily into it. And then there were times I was like, this is just purely confusion. And then, keep in mind, some of these energies, they were like opposing magnets to each other. You could feel it if you tried to work their energies at the same time. I'm talking about, say, Abraham with Orin and Daben. Just did not. It did. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. You know that they were like opposing magnets in energy, and you couldn't work them at the same time. You could not deal with the same energy at the same time. It just wasn't. If you were taking those light body courses, you know it was different than dealing in Abraham's energy. Just totally different. Anywho, my whole point is to tell you robotic affirming is awesome. Add gratitude to it. It softens the process and makes your life so much more miraculous. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Peace.